evening everyone. So it's Roelf van Tonder, he's doing his Icebreaker, and the purpose of his speech is defined by the member. The member may present a well-organized, well-supported speech on any topic. So let's give a warm welcome to Roelf van Tonder.
Thank you, Annelies. Like normally you do the evaluator tells us what our speaker is going to speak about. If he or she has asked that you look at something specific, you may announce it. And then normally the Toastmaster announces the speaker and the speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, for his Toastmaster speech debut, Roelf van Tonder with Icebreaker. Icebreaker, Roelf van Tonder.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Before I begin, I thought I'd do a quick experiment. When you look at me, what is one word you think of, or an impression that I can anything at all?
Regal.
In anything where you think I am from?
Where are you from?
Where I am from.
East Europe.
It's always interesting to hear these impressions. I've been navigating them most of my life. I've been called Jesus seriously and jokingly way too many times to count. I'm many things, but Jesus is definitely not one of them. My name is Roelf Petrus van Tonder IV. I come from a large Afrikaans family, and I was born on 13 December 19. But I also grew up abroad as a son of immigrants. I spent my formative years in the USA, Mozambique, and Tunisia. And I returned back to South Africa when I was 12 years old. These years I spent in a very liberal schooling system, filled with diversity, secularism, and thankfully acceptance. I don't remember much of Los Angeles, but what I do remember is spending Saturday mornings eating sugary cereal and reciting the Star Spangled Banner. I also remember going to Yellowstone Park where we watched Old Faithful, one of the old geezers that used to erupt, and going off the path and burning the soles of my shoes and getting a scolding for that. My time in Tunisia was most impactful. I went to a small American school there, just outside of Carthage, and they would take us on field trips to the Roman ruins, where I would stand underneath the aqueducts and all these ancient structures and marvel at their beauty. With all my friends, all my peers coming from different places of the world. It showed me how big the world is and how much there is to learn. It motivated me to study history, in which I eventually obtained a master's degree. History informs many of my passions. All of my tattoos have some sort of historical influence over me, and I love listening to music from different eras. Now you must be thinking, what does this have to do with Toastmasters? Well, you could imagine moving every few years should have equipped me being better socially, but had quite the opposite effect, with me being such a big introvert. Every time we would move, I would settle, just as I would get comfortable, pack up and move again. Come back to South Africa for a short stint and then off to a new country. Returning to South Africa for the final time, at the cusp of puberty, was interesting. I had become more aware of the world around me, and I was starting to ask questions like, who am I? What do I want to be? And frankly, I was also very curious about why people acted the way they did. I also realized people kept asking me, where are you from? Are you Italian? Are you Greek? Eastern Europe? Are you Muslim? Whatever that means. Everything but what I actually am. I also found the religious and conservative school culture in South Africa strange and very alien. I also found the blind respect for authority to be extremely stifling. I remember correcting my English teacher's grammar one day, where she said the dog are brown, and And I said, man, the dog is or not wrong. And I got a hiding for that. And that stuck with me because I knew she was wrong. But that wasn't the point. The point was respect authority, no matter what. I leaned more into my introverted nature as I went to school here in South Africa. And I avoided social interactions more and more. People would clock that I'm a bit different and would prompt unwelcome questions. And after switching schools so many times, you start to get tired of explaining yourself or changing who you are to fit in, or changing who you can be just so you're accepted. And that brings me to the reason why I'm here today at Toastmasters. Over the years, I've learned to accept myself, and I've been challenging myself to grow. I completed my master's while working full-time, and this was done on a career path that was not at all linear. I've worked from everything in construction to finance. Today, I'm presented with opportunities in my career where I see real purpose. But in order to attain that, I need to step out of my shell, be more social and outspoken, and say what I think. Currently, I work for the government of Canada, and it's a bit of a full circle moment for me, as my father also worked for international governments. I feel like my love for history and politics prepared me for this job that I have now, and I believe I can actually make a difference in it. However, to do that, I need to get rid of my old habits. I have to quiet the little boy in me that wants to avoid all these situations. And on a more personal level, I simply believe that I have more to offer. I've always been an observer. I studied history because I was curious about the human race and all its failings. And I also purposefully put myself always on the outside, just so that I could look in. I've grown tired of always looking in. I want to participate more. I want to be more outspoken. And I want to develop my skills so that I can hopefully not just observe, but one day lead. And not shake, feel nervous as well. I do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Well, I'm Roelf, and warm welcome to Pretoria Advanced, or as I like to call it, Pac-Man schools. I hope you find it welcoming here and warm. And I think you're at a wonderful place. You can learn how to articulate yourself comfortably and confident. Remember, this is the place where you are allowed to experiment and make mistakes, where there is zero, or in Afrikaans we would like to say, vet mooi nokkel. You get that, right? Christine, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's very good.
Afrikaans is niet so
Well, anyway, this is a place where, like I said, you can make mistakes and you don't have to worry about any ramifications out there in the big bad, in the real big bad world. This is intended to be your safe space where we help you to grow, we uplift you. So again, welcome. I hope you can learn a lot over here. As the person who convinced me to join my very first Toastmasters Club said, you get what you give. With that said, welcome, and I wish you all the best with your Toastmasters journey and how it will influence you in your career. Purely from my first visit to any Toastmasters Club in 2016, I already learned a lot and could apply some of what they do. Again, welcome and good luck. Now, ladies and gentlemen, well, hi. Are you ready for Roelf's evaluation?
Sure. You want me to give the time? When would you like me to give the time report?
Yes. What was this time? Yes, I should have done that.
Just over 6 minutes, so it was pretty much spot on, so well done. Okay. Sure.
Thank you. Right.
So well done, Roelf. It takes guts to come and stand here, especially for the first time, so really well done with that. And thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your history. And I think that the way you started was good. You asked the question because people might wonder, what's your history is, and that's pretty much where you started. You started where you came from, and you kind of went through to the future as well. So I enjoyed your content as well. So thanks for that. In terms of your body language, was great. You stood here, you maybe didn't move that much, but I mean, for your first speech, sometimes you just want to kind of survive. So certainly won't be too critical and expect you to walk up and down the whole time. So that was great. One thing that Lynette once pointed out to me was that just be careful. I kind of like this position where it's kind of a safe position. So just be careful of that. You don't do that too much. It's not that you do that too much anyway, but just be aware of it. You excelled at it. It was a really interesting story. Maybe one or two things that I could maybe just give a little bit of advice of what I could observe was the volume. So when you speak, maybe speak with a little bit more volume. We know you're nervous, and we're all a bit nervous, and when we're up here sometimes. And I think it was great that you took a deep breath once or twice. We could see that deep breath. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become. So you can still take that deep breath, and that's a good thing. But later on, you can maybe just do it a little more obvious, so that people won't even notice it. So, and that's the thing that we always learn here, is that you'll be up here and you kind of feel like you're nervous, and everyone's seen it, but no one knows. Only you know it. So if you don't show it and you don't say it, no one will know. So well done. I think it was an excellent first speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Hein. That was 2 minutes on the dot. Perfectly agree.